Last year this time, I made a few videos addressing some of the most common emails I've received, mostly about my blasphemy challenge video, which was just a 30-second long clip of me saying basically that I don't believe in the Christian God. Kind of silly, but for some reason it's the most watched video on my channel, I think, and has inspired the most ridiculous responses. So one video in particular, I addressed the problem of anecdotes. So many people write in hoping to convince me that their God is real by using anecdotes. And I said, look, it doesn't work. Here's why. I can offer an anecdote in response. And, there's really nobody's made any progress. Nobody's learned anything. And in response to that, Illusionist Dave wrote, "It is logical that when my doctor said I had the worst case of staph and pneumonia in my blood he'd ever seen, and that I might not live through the night, much less the week, that I should have died, and yet I did not, and survived without any permanent damage. I'm not saying God did it. I'm saying you can't always rely on logic." Okay, Dave, you see, what you just wrote, that's an anecdote. You posted that right below the video where I say please don't send me any anecdotes because they don't work. And in particular, it's a really bad anecdote. You're trying to prove that you shouldn't rely on logic. I mean, if you were going to tell an anecdote about that, then it should be something like, it would be logical to not point a gun at my head and pull the trigger in a game of Russian roulette. But I've decided to do it anyway, and I pulled the trigger and the bullet just barely missed my brain, and doctors performed surgery and saved my life, and at the same time they opened up my brain and they saw that there was a tumor there, and if I hadn't have shot myself in the head, then they might not have found the tumor, and therefore I've saved my own life, thanks to ignoring logic. Now that would be a good anecdote against logic. That would be, well, not convincing. I'm not going to say it would be convincing because it would still be pretty stupid. But it would at least be a little closer to something that might be convincing. But to say that you almost died of a staph infection but you didn't, I mean, you got lucky. There, that's my explanation. You got lucky, like a lot of people. And it's not even like you eschewed logic in order to survive. You just sat there. You just sat there and lived. Being illogical didn't help you live. It just helped you post a ridiculous, stupid anecdote to my video. So please, people, please, learn from Dave and don't post stupid anecdotes anymore. It's not convincing, and I'm just going to make fun of you. Dave also wrote, "Also, you jump to way too many conclusions about what Christians believe. Ever think it's the general message one should pay attention to? That we need to abide by the golden rule, which is found in all major religions with a little bit different wording? Think about that." Okay, I've thought about it. Great. The video didn't have anything to do with that. I was addressing specific emails that I got from people trying to save my soul. They weren't emailing me about the general message, whatever that is. To them, the general message is that I'm evil and going to hell, and that freaks them out. So, the golden rule, I mean, it's got its problems. It doesn't really make sense. Technically, I don't want you to treat me the way you want to be treated. Because for all I know, you like, I don't know, to incorporate rabbits and large cucumbers into your sex life. But, not that there's anything wrong with that per se, but it's not really my thing. So I'd prefer you didn't help me out with that. But, I get your point, the message about loving each other and all that. I mean, that's a great message. And if you ignore 90% of what's in the Bible, which is mostly like begatting and destruction and murder, then, yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful message. And I wish more people would give up dogma and give up their religion and just get down with the whole loving everybody. Be a humanist. Being a humanist is cool. That means you like humans. You gotta like humans, and they're a good thing to believe in. Even if, the evidence isn't always there. Even if it feels sometimes like most humans are posting stupid messages to your YouTube page, you can still have faith that they'll be a little smarter next time and that they'll learn to think for themselves. In fact, a Pew Research study just came out showing that a record number of people in the United States consider themselves atheist, agnostic, or just don't ascribe to any religion at all. 25%. 1 out of 4. That's mega cool. I really hope that more people continue that trend. And it is something that appears to be rising, because I think it was something like 16% for baby boomers, and less than 20% for Generation X. So, yeah, it's 25% of people born after 1980 aren't religious. Awesome. So, Dave, I think the point you were trying to make failed miserably, but good try. No, what am I saying? Dave, it was a terrible try. Try harder next time, okay? Thanks.